Fox, let me express my extreme disappointment. You know, and I think what makes me so very upset is that when people truly need help, the fact that we push it along. And since day one, we've known residential has been needed.
It's time.
You now stand charged with another DWI. You're also charged with evading arrest in a motor vehicle. On that one, you're facing up to 10 years in prison, a minimum of 2 years, a maximum of 10 years in prison. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
The officers observed the defendant engage in a race with another car on a road in Harris County, Texas. The officer attempted to catch up to the vehicles and was unable to catch up to the other driver. However, the officer caught up to the defendant's vehicle and attempted to initiate a traffic stop by activating lights and sirens. The defendant failed to stop and engaged officers in a 13-mile pursuit. When officers made contact, they observed the defendant step out of the driver's side of the vehicle, and the officers observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, red glassy eyes, and unsteadiness. The defendant admitted to drinking a bottle of wine and taking a Zoloft. During search of the vehicle, the officers found an empty bottle of wine and a Sonic cup that contained a liquid smelling of alcohol.
Alcohol in the car?
Yes, Judge. And the defendant refused standard field sobriety test. DIC was read, and the defendant refused breath. A blood search warrant was signed and executed.
Mr. Fox, did we already have an affidavit on file that he's not supposed to drive?
Let me double check.
I am now putting this affidavit that you're not to drive. If I find that you drive, and I don't care what your reason is, if you get out, because I don't know if you're getting out, then I will have a contempt hearing and you'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car and drive. I am now, if you get out, ordering you to be under home confinement. I think that your bond at $15,000 on the DWI is wholly insufficient, and I'm going to raise that to $50,000. I'm also going to raise the terroristic threat, the probation that you're on now. I'm also going to raise that to $50,000 and $50,000 and 1, 2, 3. How many cases does he have in Fort Bend open? I know he has one DWI, but what else does he have?
I believe it's just the one DWI, Judge. But Alex is gonna double check for us. And also, Judge, the complainant in the terroristic threat case did reach out to the felony prosecutor because she saw that the defendant had been arrested. She is currently filed for divorce from the defendant, and she is requesting that he is not to be in house arrest at her house. It is under her name. So I'm not sure if that's the address we have on file, but if you were imposing house arrest, she was requesting that it's not there.
Okay, so I need to get Mr. Butler here so we can deal with this case as well, though. Do you mind perhaps reaching out to him, sending an email, or I'll also call out to the office as well to see. He's always in court. Hopefully he can be here now. And then as soon as the line dies down, I'll also reach out to him as well.
All right. There was also one last Spanish THA citizen.
Okay. So she does not want any contact with him as far as, okay, so, Mr. Fox, you're not to have contact with the complaining witness and the terroristic threat. You're not to go with where they live, work.
She just said that I'm not gonna live there. I mean, we talk every day that I'm
You're
sitting
not,
there.
no, I mean, she doesn't want to have contact with him?
No, that's not what she said.
I'll go with the email, Judge.
And when did she call the DAs?
She emailed on November 21st. So I think that she saw that the new charges had been filed. She was just concerned, she expressed concern to the fellow prosecutor that if the defendant is released to his home address, that's where she's currently staying, and they are going through a divorce. I don't think she'd said anything about no contact between the two. She just requests that he's not sent,
Okay,
today.
so I won't do the no contact then. Okay. Okay, I want to have a hearing on this ASAP. I'm not waiting anymore on the stuff from, I mean, damn it, I can't do anything now. He's got these cases open anyways. Wait, just, what a waste. All right, Mr. Fox, if you're released, like I said, home confinement, on one ankle, you will get a GPS monitor. On your other ankle, you will get a Scram ankle monitor, so we know that you're not consuming alcohol. Is that it? I guess that's it, right? No weapons. And then he'll have to, prior to release, he's going to get all those, and then you'll have to find somehow another address for him to live, James, because, we need the address prior. And I mean, I don't know if he's going to bond out now, but
Yes, Judge.
see, but
Can I get that rehabilitation that you had offered?
not while cases are open.
Well,
You have the case also that's open in Fort Bend as well.
yes.
I don't know what's going to happen in there. I'll tell you, those cases take even longer to resolve than here. And then how are you going to be able to resolve that over there when you've got this stuff over here? So at some point, you're going to have to transfer over there, resolve stuff. It's just, it's even more of a mess now. So, all right, I guess I'm going to have you put back now. I want to wait to see if we can get Mr. Butler here today. And then if not, we'll just roll it to tomorrow until we get him.
And Judge, I have 2 more in custody.
Okay, who's next? Guys, you're in front of me because you are currently in custody. Your lawyer wants me to let you guys out. And I don't know. We'll see, I guess, Let's start with it's Lane, right?
That's right, Your Honor.
So you initially are charged with evading arrest. We give you a bond, we let you out, and now you've picked up a new case. You've picked up a criminal mischief. You're facing, I think it's even a Class A. You're facing, up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. I have no idea what happened on your new case, so let's find out. Guys?
So officers were conducting a follow-up report related to an incident that occurred on November 21st. The complainant, the manager of Fan and Food Mart, stated that the defendant entered his store and had an altercation with him. The complainant told the defendant to leave. When the complainant returned to work the following day, he saw that the front window had been broken. The complainant reviewed surveillance and saw an individual throw something at the window who was wearing the same outfit as the defendant had earlier. Additionally, later that day, the complainant saw the defendant walk near the store wearing the same outfit as the individual in the surveillance. The officer reviewed the surveillance and confirmed what the CW complainant had seen.
Okay. What are you doing with yourself now these days, Mr. Lane?
Presently, I'm not doing anything. I'm unemployed. I was an attorney for 15 years in Chicago, Illinois, and I moved here in July or late June.
You're a lawyer.
Well, I don't know if I'm currently licensed. I let my license go. I did MCLEs. I was supposed to do them over the summer. I had them due, and I just decided not to go back to Illinois. So
You didn't like being a lawyer?
I love being a lawyer. No, I love.
Just stop.
I'm sorry.
Why stop?
Because in order to practice here, which is my new home, it would have been a process of, I think, taking a bar 3 days. I think you guys have.
Yeah, it's
And
awful.
yeah. And I had some other things going on in my life that, producing
You have in your life now.
who?
Yeah.
Family, nobody in this area, but my mother and father, they live in San Francisco area, and my younger sister does too. My father's a retired lawyer, my sister's a lawyer, my older brother is in, a different
They know
field.
that you're here in this now.
No.
Can we reach out to them?
Sure. I mean, if you,
Well, here's the problem, Mr. Lane, is that we gave you a free bond, you've picked up a new case. And the last thing I want is to just let you go and you're going to be roaming the streets of Houston. It's just not a good place to roam. And if you've got nowhere to go, if you've got nothing to do, it could be a recipe for trouble. And that's why I want to let you out, but not just to the streets. If you have a place to go to, if you've got family, if someone's willing to take you in, then we can work something. But for you to just be let out on the street,
right. I was going to defer to my counsel here to make these sorts of arguments. I'm not used to appearing in this sort of forum, but I'd be happy to speak to the circumstance of
do
being
you mind if
homeless.
he reaches out to family to see if they can help?
I'm not sure. Well, again,
I can reach out to any family members if you want, if you're comfortable with me doing that. I just don't want to do that if you don't want me to, but
well, I don't understand the purpose to have them pay a bond.
no.
For help.
What Judge is concerned about is you having some sort of place to stay where you're safe so that you can comply with bond conditions, come to court when asked, and we know that you have a place to be. So if that's a homeless shelter or Star of Hope or something.
More importantly, that you, number one, don't get into any trouble. And number two, don't be a danger to the public, because we want our public to be safe, secure. And that's it. And if you're on the street, you're roaming, you've got nowhere to go, you've got no food to eat, it's a recipe for disaster. But if we can get your family involved and let them know what's going on with you now, perhaps they're willing to come down, speak with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a larger extended family that really should be bearing this burden because they were the ones who convinced me to come to Houston in the first place and to stay here.
You can reach out to whoever you want. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Anyone you want. As long as they have a phone number, then hey.
Well, sure. I mean, I'm amenable to that. I'm not sure if that's a solution here that has anything to do with my bond, or because they gave me like a $5,000 bond or something. I don't really know.
Yeah, your bond's now, it's $100 on the evading and then it's $5,000 on the criminal mischief.
Is there anyone you could stay with in the Houston area?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, I know of one person in the Houston area, and a few others that could possibly be called. I don't really know all their names, but people I met along the way.
Are you comfortable with me calling someone for you in the Houston area?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Sure.
Okay.
Let's see who you try to reach out to see how we can get Mr. Lane some help.
Okay. And Judge, when you plan to give him a personal bond, and maybe when we.
No. I want to first see who we can reach out to first. If we can find someone that we have a place for him to go to, willing to help him out, then absolutely.
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Lane,
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
want to give you another PR bond for the street to the wolves.
Sure.
Okay?
Understood, Your Honor.
James is great. He's here to help you. Together, let's work something to get you the best thing that we can. Okay?
Thanks.
Mr. Smith, not very happy with you. You were placed on a probation for unlawful carrying of a weapon. While you were on that probation, you absconded multiple times, meaning you took off. In March of 23, you picked up an assault. And then after you picked up the assault, you took off. Never heard from you again. The only reason we have you now is because you picked up a criminal trespass.
Can I speak on the March case?
Don't. I've got a bunch of district attorneys here, and I don't want you to say something that hurts
Don't
your
speak about
case.
the facts of your case.
Yes.
The problem is that your lawyer is asking me to give you a PR bond to get you out. But I know if I give you a PR bond, you're going to take flight. We'll never see you again. How many times have you done it before? It's a rhetorical question. I don't want you to answer, but the problem is I have your bond at 7503 for a reason.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So we got to find out what's going on with you as well. What I'd like to do is have you TRAS'd. I want you to speak to our clinicians to see how we best go forward. I don't want to just throw you out to the wolves. You know, how do we get better? How do we make sure this doesn't happen again? How do we get you full-time employment so you can start working? Well,
He works at
I
an
don't
auto shop,
know.
Judge.
Huh?
He works at an auto shop.
Great. But I need just more than words, right? So I'm going to have you TRAS'd. We'll set you off a couple days to see how we go forward. Okay? You understand? Okay. Do you have any family here that's willing to help you out in Houston as well?
My girlfriend, yes, sir. She was trying to buy me out today.
Who else do you have besides that?
My mother works for HPD.
Okay, that's a great start. Do you mind if he reaches out to mom? Okay, don't say anything here because, you know, I don't want you to give phone numbers or anything like that now. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put you guys back. We're gonna try to see how we go forward and then we'll see you here soon, okay? All right, guys, thanks.
Mr. Honor.
All right, take care, man. To do probable cause, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay, so if you don't mind reading what happened on the newest case, please.
Yes, Judge. On April 25th, 2025, in Orange County, Texas, a law enforcement officer was informed of a street takeover and observed, went to the location and observed the defendant performing donuts in the parking lot in the middle of a crowd of people and vehicles. The event included approximately 5 donuts within a crowd of 150 vehicles, and you got within 10 feet of striking vehicles, people inside the pit of the takeover. The law enforcement officer saw the vehicle, leave the location, initiated a traffic stop, and identified the defendant.
So they locate what about the vehicle now?
They saw him from the distance. They saw him doing donuts, and they saw him leave the wall behind him, and they initiated the traffic stop.
This is not.
Mr. Villasana, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case, and I'm now ordering you not to drive. If I find that you drive, and I don't care what it is, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Because you did the exact thing I asked you not to do repeatedly. I am now revoking your bond as well, and I'm putting you in jail.
Can I say something though?
You cannot.
That's a
You
lie.
say something to me in this year and out that year, third case.
That's a lie though. What they said I did,
Stop.
it's a lie.
Look at,
So, am I gonna get a bond?
yeah, I'm gonna set your bond.
I could pay a bond.
5,003 on the first two.
Oh,
5,003 on both.
on both cases.
5,003 on the theft, and then 5,003 on the racing. Did he get a PR bond on the reckless? Do you know? Let me see.
It's a weapon there, right?
Yeah, no, he paid a surety bond. He got a surety bond on that one. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one as is. The newest one I'll leave as is. The other ones,
5,000 and 5,000. Okay.
was this at night?
Judge, looks like it was.
So, hey, Roxanne, on Mr. Villasana, no drugs, no alcohol. I'm putting him on a curfew with a GPS monitor so he's not out at night, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. No driving, no weapons.
Consider it house arrest.
I don't know. I mean,
For Judge, I would object to the house arrest. But house arrest is not reserved for people accused with felony offenses.
yeah, I mean, at least let's not have him out in the middle of the night, at night, and then a scram on the other one so he's not drinking. And then I think that's it. And then we'll pay the fees for everything as well.
Okay.
He paid his surety.
On the record?
No, on the, oh yeah, on the reckless, yeah.
On the reckless,
Yeah.
it's surety, but the racing, that race on
Yeah, that's why we're working the first two, 5,003, and then, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Thank you,
coming.
Judge.
I know that you're busy upstairs and it's a little bit more high maintenance, so thanks. Hopefully now's the. All right, good morning, Mr. Narcisse. So you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On April 20th, 2025 in Harris County, Texas, a law enforcement hotel staff stated that an unidentified third party alerted them that the defendant had a weapon. The defendant was detained, and a witness told the law enforcement officers the defendant had a backpack behind a bush prior to the law enforcement officers' arrival. The backpack was recovered and a handgun was found in the backpack. The defendant is currently 19 years old.
You like Skip. How do they know the backpack was his? What was he doing wrong?
There was a witness, Your Honor, that stated that they saw the defendant hide the backpack behind a bush. And the hotel staff was able to identify the defendant as the individual that they were told had a gun. And that's when the officer.
Was he just standing while black or something? What's he doing wrong?
They were just alerted.
No. I'm gonna find no problem causing your case, Mr. Narcisse. Be careful, man. So many out there out to get you, put you down. You're 19. Do something with your life. Don't become a statistic. Hang tight for me, man.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Man.
I was just appointing Mr. Walker this morning. Judge, I just spoke with my client. It seems like, I was trying to figure out, so is the court asking him to come back in 2 weeks or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come up, Mr. Walker. Shh.
The reason why I'm asking, Judge, is because I spoke to my client. It seems like his younger brother was murdered 3 days ago. So his whole family is dealing with a lot of grief and funeral planning. He's trying to be there for his family emotionally. So I'm not sure how long this grieving process is going to last, but right now.
I don't know about any of this. I have a lot of people that tell me things. All I know is that you've not been working. I don't want you using, and I just want you to be productive. That's all I want. I'm not asking you to split the atom, do anything crazy. Just be an upstanding person. That's all I'm asking. I get that you may be grieving, but the world your life doesn't go on hold forever. You need to continue and work and do life. Does anyone rely on you? Do you have kids?
My kids rely on me.
How many kids you got?
I got 4 kids.
4 kids? When's the last time you've had a job?
I was just working, but I got my license. My license got suspended. So I can't drive a box truck without my license, sir.
Those 4 kids don't stop eating because your license got suspended. They don't stop getting clothes on their back because you got your license suspended. Their lives go on. They continue to eat 3 times a day. They still need clothes. That's why.
Judge, maybe I was wondering if there's like an alternative solution we could do, like maybe if he could send me proof that maybe he's taken an effort to look for work, but
The
not.
other thing
not
is
coming to
this,
work.
is that I want to drug test you because
That's fine.
I'm ordering you and I don't want you to be using illegal drugs while you're on these. All I'm asking is that you be productive. That's all I want, especially if you have 4 little mouths that depend on you. It's not fair to them.
Yes, Your Honor.
You know what I mean? That's why.
But my little brother just got killed, so I'm grieving right now. I hear I get what you're saying too. You
I
gotta
understand you're grieving,
where I'm coming from
but
too.
they still need to eat.
They taken care of though. They're taken care of. No, I don't know because
So it does seem like my client has some type of like custody rights. Maybe he has a right to visitation, but he doesn't provide for them. So it seems like they're being taken care of, Judge. I understand that my client wants to be productive.
You are man enough to have 4 children, then you are man enough to work and
Yes,
provide
Your
for those kids. No one else should have to take care of those kids.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's just the bottom line. So I'm bringing him back in 2 weeks and I want to see what you have done to get a job.
So what if my brother's funeral on that day? So you want me to come to
I
court?
will give you the day after. I'll give you a couple days after. It's not a big deal. I will let you pick the day, Mr. Walker.
Or could my client send me proof and I can show you, Judge, that he is applying to places or making an effort to get employment, so therefore he
I'm gonna
can
drug
stay
test.
with
I'm
Yes,
gonna
Judge.
drug test. So look, I'll give you 3 weeks. It's not a big deal, but I just want a real concerted effort. That's it. I'm not asking for much. Okay, thanks. 3 weeks. Come up, Miss Iwoma. She's skipping, she's testing positive. What are we supposed to do?
Judge, I don't know.
Jail. That's what we do.
She could maybe have an ankle monitor.
But what's that going to do? I mean, she's still consuming. You're charged with DWI second. I ordered it out to you, so you either don't care about bond conditions or you have a problem. I don't know what to do. But obviously, no means no. Not only are you testing positive, but you have 19 skipped tests. So I'm going to assume all those tests mean that you continue to consume.
I never.
I don't want you to, nothing is required for you to say. I'm just telling you that at this point in time, I have to revoke your bond. You're forcing me to. She goes with you.
Ron, do you consider setting a new bond?
Bond is set at 2,000 now. I'll set it at 5,001.
No.
Set it at 5,001 and then
Let
council.
me approach. I just couldn't hear.
I'm going to set it at 5,001. I'll only go up, half. But, if and when she does bond out the next time, I'm going to put an ankle monitor on her, so she's not
Yeah.
skipping. And then there's nothing to say really. Just please admonish her that if it happens again, this time it's going to be
Much more severe.
right.
But the bond is going to be set at
5,001. Do you mind? Please. Yeah. Okay. So what'll happen now is at some point she's going to bond out again. She'll get another 7-day setting. She'll have to come in immediately. And then we're going to order her now to have, the scram device put on her ankle. Okay.
Okay, then that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Morning, Mr. Coates.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Iffy.
You're here because we had to issue a warrant.
Yes, sir.
It's the only way we get to see you. We asked you to do things. You told us you were going to do things, promised us you were going to do things, yet.
Half that reasoning is on my aunt because she is my ride to most of these things. And she couldn't help me out. I got into it with her, with my sister, over some money issues. Because remember when I was working at Dave's? So after that, she was like, you got to leave because she wasn't trying to hear nothing I was saying. And I wasn't being disrespectful or
I
nothing.
wouldn't want to either.
But
It looks like you're already starting to blame everybody else.
I'm not like,
But you are.
yes, sir.
At the end of the day, it's all
On me.
on you. When you have the heart, when you have the will, you can do damn near anything. If you really wanted to, you could find a bus, could call a friend, could take an Uber.
It's hard when you're watching 2 kids, sir, and working. I was watching 2 kids, my baby brother and the kid that's mine but not mine. And I'm working. And also, we had a deal on me doing my GED. I was working on that. There is proof for that. Literally.
We don't have proof of anything.
The other lawyer, that other lady that was in here, I forgot her name, but she was seeing somebody else. That was my first court-appointed lawyer. She has that proof. She showed y'all that the first time.
That was before you got on probation, dude. You're supposed to continue with it.
Before I got on probation, I thought I was on deferred. This was while I was on deferred. The deferred deal was if I did that, I was getting off of that in 3 months. That's exactly what you told me, sir. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to bring nothing back. I'm not trying to argue. I understand where I'm wrong.
I get it. I get it.
You know what I
The
mean?
problem is, in this world, you're only as good as the proof that you have. If you don't have proof, you have nothing. So you tell me this, you tell me that. I ask and I have staff that tells me, okay, this is what he's done. This is what he's not done. He hadn't even shown up once. You didn't even show up once. Did you get your offender identification card? That's the first thing that you got to do when you even get on a deferred. You literally done nothing. So what now? I truly don't know how to go forward. So what I would like to do is do a TRAS. This is an evaluation to see where we go from here.
Wednesday.
I'm going to expedite it so you don't just sit there. We have the TRAS set for Wednesday. I'd like you to talk to them to see how we go forward, and they'll give us an analysis, and they'll, talk to you, see where you are in life, what's gone on, and give us a better indication of how to go forward. But I just don't
I'm gonna
know.
lose my job. I just found a good job. I'm learning this, what's on your table, that marble, I'm learning how to cut that and polish that. Like, it's a good job. Like, I understand I was supposed to do these things. Like, I've missed these things, and it's no apology could fix that, of course. But again, there was a lot going on in life. It's no excuse. It's no excuse to what I was supposed to do, and I knew I was supposed to do it. But it was a lot going on in life. My auntie was half the reason of me being a ride. She was my ride, and I don't have that ride. So now everywhere I do go, I do need the metro now, which is not no deal, because now I'm doing this on my own. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't got to worry about kids. I ain't got to worry about no other jobs. I really wasn't though, sir. I really wasn't. I was having resources. I was having y'all help me out with this too. There's probably no proof there with that, but I was.
Be that as it may, I'm doing this TRAS. I'm going to try to get it done as quick as possible. I'm going to try to get the results as quick as possible to see how we go forward, because I just don't know.
Can I have a bond?
I did set you a bond. I always set you a bond. I don't hold people at no bond. Very, very few instances can I really legally hold someone at no bond. But it would be foolish for me to just think that let you out and hope that it happens again.
I
Because
really don't like coming in here. You ain't gonna see me no more. I know you can't just do it, because again, what I already did puts an image out on me that I'm not gonna do anything for it. Like,
not
I understand.
It's reality. Perception is reality.
Yes, sir.
So we'll set you for Wednesday. I'm not going to set you. You want to set it for Friday?
Yes.
We'll set it for Friday. Hopefully we'll have a good roadmap of how to go forward on that day. And in between, we have Sean here to help you out. You can always talk to Sean. He's great for whatever you may need. And then I'll see you back on Friday.
Judge Bond's set at what, 10,000 right now?
It's set at codes.
How long a time I'm looking at if none of this go through?
Year.
A whole year? Great.
The reason I have it the amount that I do is because of his multiple non-appearances, multiple bond violations. I have at least probably 3 different times he failed to appear. As far as bond violations, I have
2 of those.
Yeah, 2 bond violations. So, and now a motion to adjudicate. So I really think that just bond is appropriate as how it's set now. See you Friday.
In this court case, the defendant appeared before the judge after being charged with a new DWI along with felony evading arrest in a motor vehicle, a serious charge carrying up to 10 years in prison. According to police, officers saw him racing another vehicle on the road and attempted to stop him, but instead of pulling over, he led them on a dangerous 13-mile chase. When officers finally stopped him, they noticed signs of intoxication, including slurred speech, red glassy eyes, unsteady movement, and a strong smell of alcohol. He admitted to drinking a bottle of wine and taking medication, while officers also found an empty wine bottle and alcohol inside the car. Because he was already dealing with other open criminal cases, including probation and a terroristic threat case connected to his divorce, the judge became extremely frustrated and made it clear that public safety came first. His original bond of $15,000 was immediately raised to $50,000, and the judge added strict conditions, including no driving, home confinement, GPS monitoring, a scram alcohol monitor, and no weapons. He was also warned that violating any condition would lead to even more jail time and additional penalties. This case shows how repeated poor decisions, especially involving alcohol and dangerous driving, can quickly turn into life-changing legal consequences.